Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, ladies, I know you're tired of this.
DJ Lab in the house. Yeah, make sure y'all make sure y'all everybody's on their toes. But welcome to Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about a subject matter that I think a lot of parents go through. A lot of parents go through because we, as a parent, you know, we blindly love our kids, wish the best for them. We give up a lot of stuff, sacrificing everything. As our kids grow up, the things that we envision for them to do and the thing that actually happen don't necessarily be the same thing.
Don't be the same thing.
Yeah, so tonight's show we're talking about how to deal with disappointment from adult children. Again, how to deal with disappointment from adult children. Because, you know me, man, I got 4 boys, 3 adults right now. And I'll be sitting here lying if I sit here and say them at 4 and 5 and where they at now. They good kids, they're doing well. But I'd be lying if I say, you know, they went the path that I wanted, you know, them to go.
Okay.
Or with certain things.
Right.
You know,
right.
Can't really trip, you know, and everything. Got great young men that are my children and stuff like that. But you still as a parent see certain things.
Have an idea.
Yeah, your vision, whatever. Your vision and, you know, their reality can be 2 old separate things. So listen, man, I think it's gonna be a great show. The Gorilla invitation. No, not today, Gorilla. Again, this is Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton. Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Feel free to call in to the call-in show. The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. And you have any stories or tips that you want to share in regards to, just say if you have, and not even have to be adult children that are growing up and everything, where you may say, well, hey, I want to do this, I want to have my child do this kind of thing, and it's not going that way, or, you know, what you've seen or whatever. Any story that you want to share, feel free to call in. Again, 678-740-9894. Busy week. Man, the weather done dropped all of a sudden, dog.
It has gotten a little chillier.
Yeah.
Especially at night.
Yeah, and everything been going pretty good. One quick thing before we get started, I want to thank everybody. You guys know I'm an accountant by profession. We wrapped up our 22nd straight tax season.
Ooh.
And appreciate it.
Second. Not second.
Monday was the tax extension deadline. That's where a lot of people come in, you know, they had the extensions, you know, last minute, and it was good. It was cool. We took care of everybody and stuff, but it was rough, man. The car really don't move like it used to.
Oh, really?
Shit, nah. Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah, boy.
Well, you know.
My mind and my eyes don't be on top. You know, I can do stuff at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I can't do it like that no more. Like,
well, you shouldn't be able to.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, my mind and my body can still move with it. The mind and eyes, I get drained quicker. You know, and everything. I noticed that about myself. Still can move.
Right.
But the other stuff just can't do it like that.
It
but
just
man,
ain't gonna happen like
absolutely. But I want to thank everybody that came and supported us this tax season. The whole county, I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. We look forward to seeing everybody in new faces again next year in 2024. Also, we'll be hiring and recruiting new tax preparers. I'll be putting that information out soon. And also, we still have the course, you know, how to start your own tax business as well. If you're looking at on the platforms outside of TikTok and Instagram, in the description section of all the videos, those links to those particular information, especially the course, and our website is in the description section of all the videos.
Okay.
But going back to what we're talking about today, how to deal with disappointment from adult children. And, you know, dealing with disappointment involving adult children can be emotionally challenging. What we're going to talk about today is some strategies to help you cope and maintain a healthy relationship with your grown-up offspring.
Okay.
Right? And a lot of times, you know, because, you know, a lot of times, you know, I think people, and I just remember when Chris B, you know, my third son, when he was in pre-K.
Okay.
So by the time Chris was in pre-K, I'm thinking T might have been in middle school.
Okay.
My oldest boy.
Okay.
So I done been through pre-K twice with
Okay.
2 kids already. This third one, and I remember the parents in there were asking, you know, hey, you know, if my child a little advanced, you know, can y'all move them around and stuff? And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell, your child can color in the lines?
Right, same.
You know what I'm saying? They don't pee on themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What the hell?
Right.
But it's just so funny. Whereas, because the reason why you think about Christopher, I was more, I was such a young father with T and P,
Right.
but in my second, with Chris, I was older, so I was more intuitive
Okay.
as a father as far as things that, you know, what to do and things like that. But what I noticed was by the time they got to 5th, you know, so many parents were there, kindergarten graduation, the parking lot is packed. And as the kids get older, 5th grade or middle school, you got hardly anybody there. High school, you got, you know, folks kind of show up and stuff like that.
Right.
But what's funny is that how you see so many folks with aspirations and everything that plan this stuff out. They do certain things, especially when I remember with touring with the football. Lily, you know, dads be all doing it. By the time they get to high school,
They falling
they're
off.
falling off and everything. Then when they, you know, I remember senior year, you know, it's like people just don't even know what the hell they're gonna do with a child. I don't even know. I just want them to get their ass out of bed. I hear that all the time. And so,
They say T was your tester baby.
huh?
Your first son was your tester baby.
And I think that's kind of it with most parents, because we don't get like a blueprint or a guidebook to do that.
Say hey to your mom real
What's
quick.
up, Mama? What's
Hey,
going
Mama.
on? Appreciate you tuning in. But I think that we'll have certain things that I mean, God knows I had a vision and certain things I had planned out with my children. Not bad, like I said, not bad kids, but they have a whole different pathway. And it's rough, man. I'm telling you something, like when as your child grows, especially you involved, you know, we make a lot of selfless sacrifices
For our children.
Yeah.
and don't think nothing of it. And not that we sit here and want something, you know, in return for it, but what happens is a lot of times you'll forget yourself and lose yourself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really realize a lot of it till I went through my divorce. Like how much stuff, like, damn, I lost myself worrying about everybody else. You know what I mean?
And that happens far too often for fathers. That happens especially with black fathers, because we try to do so much and try to make sure our kids stay out of trouble. You know, they get the right advances in school. You know, teachers don't just stick them in the corner. So we just be, especially when we involve
these stigmas and all kind of stuff.
Right.
It is rough. And then you really, you've done all these particular things, and they just go on a whole different pathway. And as they get older, a lot of times you have to sit back, and I'm just saying this right now as a person with 3 adult children. You have to sometimes put stuff in perspective with your kids, and it's kind of difficult when you're going through it. You know what I mean? In regards to, like, hey, they doing something you don't agree with, but damn, man, you know, like, this ain't what we playing.
Right.
And you know, I'm talking to your son, I'm talking to your daughter, and at the end of the day, like, they ain't listening to you.
They don't get it.
As a matter of fact, they listen to people who are just damn idiots. And then they getting into stuff you can't get them out of. And that's probably one of the most painful things for any parent to go through when your child going through something and you can't help them. Because we know the older our kids are, the younger they are, the more control we got. As they get older, we got less control. And you hope that between those two end pieces, you put enough into your kid that they can think and process on their own and retain some of the things you said. And it may not happen. You know? I was having a good conversation with a good friend of mine that was saying that in regards to certain decisions that children make, you know, you can look at the parents and like, no, you know, parents would be sitting there and tell you, like, some kids just hard-headed. Some folks just do what the hell they want to do, regardless of what happens.
Right.
And you can look at certain times you have certain multiple kids. You know, 4 kids, 3 of them right down straight and narrow, deal with mom and daddy.
And you got that one.
Like, where the hell you come from? You know, and just the decisions that they made.
Right.
And a lot of times, what we got, I just woke up, I tried to call, it didn't work. I just tried. Is that
What's
the
the
number?
orange button?
678.
Got that, Tom.
I got 678-740-9894.
That's correct.
Give it a call. I just woke up. Give a call back if you can, if you don't mind.
Right.
678-740-9894. Try to call back if you can. Again, the call-in number 678-740-9894. Try to call back. Let me know if it's still not working. And I apologize about that. But the line is up. But again, yeah, if somebody else can call too, y'all let me know if it's an issue with anything we're calling. But what was I saying? Yeah, when you lose that kind of control as a parent, you hopefully at that point that they've been able to walk, walk on their own and do certain things on their own, but it's tough, and that's why I want to have a discussion with parents tonight, because man, you got a lot of parents out there that are going through a lot of stressful situations. I mean, they still we had those conversations and shows about taking care of damn children when they're grown, raising grandbabies, still doing stuff damn near like you got a 30-year-old baby at your house.
At your house.
You know what I'm saying? And what happens a lot of times, people will catch stuff that they kids know their kids wrong with as adults, but because they don't want to get embarrassment, they'll try to keep stuff in a certain way.
Okay.
Knowing it ain't right.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, should you really be paying rent for a 30-year-old?
True.
You know what I'm saying? That's not transitioning.
Right. That's
like,
not better.
Yeah, sometimes kids might go through Sunday.
They might just got out of college, got their PhD or something.
May have health issue, may have went to a divorce or something like that. Mom, dad helping them. But we talking about regular damn life.
Yeah.
Where you sustaining them and doing that. And a lot of times people will do that because they don't want to look like I think a failure in public. So because of things like that happen, I want to have that conversation tonight to talk with parents in regards to like, look, we all a tribe. We all done go through different stuff with our kids. Have, like I always say, we proud of them. And, when they do their best, we'll post on social media. Then when they do wrong, we just like,
that ain't my child.
we disappear. Well, shit, we just damn disappear.
You just like your dad.
Yeah, but you gotta keep that same. The thought process. He crazy. We still just want to keep that same energy in regards to how things. Say it still didn't work. Still didn't work.
Hold on, let me test. Okay.
We're gonna test it out. 678-740-9894. Okay, we're gonna test it out, and I appreciate you letting me know that. But when we talk about this, first thing I wanted to give you a couple tips. What I think everyone should be doing in regards to be able to assist people, in regards to being able to help handle disappointment from adult children. And I think the first thing the parents should do, we talking about this, is acknowledge your feelings. And what I mean by acknowledge your feelings, allow yourself to feel. It's natural to feel disappointed, but allow yourself to experience these emotions without guilt. Acknowledging your feelings is the first step toward coping with them. And so when you see your child go down a path, you done right. You told them what to do, right? And now they getting in certain trouble, they getting in certain things are happening and stuff. What's going on? Certain.
Right, whoever it is, right,
It's not going through. Is there anything we can do?
No, I got a call.
Okay, cool. Well, sorry guys, the call in not working tonight, but please leave your comments in the chat with everything and stuff like that. We're gonna get everything squared away for the next show. So if you can't call in, just leave your comments in the chat and I'll recite them. I appreciate you letting me know they just woke up. I just woke up. It's all good. It's all good. We adapt with soldiers, adapt and overcome. But exactly. Acknowledging your feelings, because a lot of times when you get hurt, especially by things that your children have done that they probably shouldn't have done, not probably they shouldn't have done, we can kind of lose ourselves. We kind of hide. We embarrassed. We hurt, and then people asking and stuff like that.
Right.
I remember when my oldest boy got suspended. Senior year, never got in trouble before in his life. Got suspended in college. And he was missing some games, and everybody called, and I'm mad as hell. But I went through the gamut, embarrassed and all this other kind of shit. He couldn't play for everybody. What's he at? And I had at some point, like, look, that MF did it, not me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you know, again, I ain't never been, anybody know me, I ain't never been that, my kids wouldn't do that. I ain't never been that daddy. But I also never had to go through a lot of embarrassment with my children either, just keeping it real. And so now, this gentleman got suspended. He ain't playing, and everybody reaching out because everybody know I post stuff from the games and stuff.
Right.
Where he at and everything? And I'm trying to. He ain't now. What I wasn't finna do, and I heard a family member did that. I wasn't finna lie.
Oh, okay.
Say he hurting shit.
Right.
He ain't playing. You know, you ask him. You know, I ain't gonna front his business up. He grown now, so I don't give a shit.
Right.
You know, but at that time I wasn't gonna lie.
Right.
Cause I heard somebody say, "Well, he no the hell he ain't hurt."
He ain't hurt.
No, he ain't hurt.
He's not hurt.
I wasn't finna damn lie.
Right.
But I say that to say, I was hurt. Bro, I done did all this stuff. You got everything laid out. Because one thing about it is that when we're younger and we make mistakes, we don't understand the magnitude of that mistake. Because a lot of times with youth, we have that youthful ignorance. We don't think that a dumb or a careless mistake can have big impact. Same impact. So and I try to tell this the kids all the time. Shout out to Tri-Cities High School. We had me and the Brother 100. We was out there talking to the kids yesterday.
Okay.
Up at Tri-Cities High, and like I always say, it's not just bad people in jail. It's people that made mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so don't get it twisted. Like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Like, no, man. Like, it's some guys in there was in the wrong place, wrong time. Should have got out the car. Didn't roll with that guy. You know, right? You know what I mean? You know, hey, wrote a check and they had intentions of paying them. All kind of stuff. You know that they made a probably dumb decision, unwise decision, but they still in jail and they not bad. You know, in their mind, a lot of times, I'm not a rapist. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a robber. That's what jail for. But a lot of times they don't realize, like, it's a place enough for people to make dumb mistakes as well, right? So that's why, I try to get, a lot of the kids to understand that, like, with doing it. And so when your kids do particular things, like, make those kind of mistakes where you're like, man, why this joker done got another baby? This joker done got locked up again, done got fired again. And especially when you see maybe peers,
you speaking my language,
and they kids,
they doing good.
Yeah, they doing
like and you gave your kids the same, if not better than they gave their kids. Their kids doctors and been in the military and doing great things, and here comes.
Well, they have to.
Big head, he can't keep a job at McDonald's for less than 2 weeks, and you wonder what the heck happened.
Yeah, and a lot of time when people don't necessarily put in that work like that with their kids, make them sacrifices, they can blow it off just like anybody else. But when you done made some real tough decisions and sacrifice for your kids, it rub you a little different. That's why I say, so the first thing you got to be able to acknowledge your feelings. And it hurt me, it bothered me, you know what I'm saying? And just focusing on whatever people try to blow it off, just acknowledge that it did bother you, right? The second thing is you got to reflect your expectations. You got to reflect your expectations. Examine your expectations. Reflect on whether your disappointment stems from unmet expectations. Sometimes our children may have different paths or make choices that don't align with our hopes for them. And you got to sit here and say sometimes, like, look, you may have been looking here and your kid is there, or you up here and they got here, which is still good, but your sights were there. I'll be lying to you if I could sit here and just say, like, yeah, like I said, all mine doing good, but I still have different kind of pathways with doing stuff, and I can just be straight up with that. I remember sometimes I've heard, even with my kids, other people's kids, people will say, well, at least they're doing something. That bullshit.
Right.
Because one thing about it, I have high standards. Now, do I think my kids are not regular people, anything like that? They good kids, but I set high standards and I set high bars. And one thing about it, it's not an issue if they don't attain it, but I know they're working somewhere, and I ain't unfair. I ain't unfair with anything. And like I said, one of my kids, it wasn't called anything. I ain't never been unfair, but I'm real with them. Like, hey, bro, just do this. This is a title.
It really don't. It really doesn't. Nah, I lost my train of thought.
That's cool. It was cool.
I had it too. Dang, that old is.
It's cool. No, we're talking about, you know, just reflecting your expectation.
Right.
But when you have that vision, you're like, look, man, this is what I'm expecting of you. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All parents should have high expectations of their children. It don't have to make it seem like your kids are better or whatever than anyone else's children. But if you put in the time, the effort, and putting in the knowledge and pouring into them, you would expect them. You would expect to have high expectations for them.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Well, what I told you the other week, the standard is the standard. Look, bro, this is what we gotta have and everything, you know. And again, if we can't achieve that, how can we?
Right.
You know, Sex Redbone said, yes, it makes you question what did you do wrong, and you have to sit here and say sometime to yourself, like, again, like, is it me or is it them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a good point, because what I used to always think about when you just say athletics, and you know, sometimes I played sports my whole life, and I know majority of damn parents out there didn't play sports, and they'll be sitting in the stands. Typically, somebody that played sports, that really played, at least through high school, they understand the whole concept of, you know, you're gonna make mistakes. If that makes sense.
Right.
Typically, if you playing a sport, you know, really, only person that not make a mistake is the person in the game, right? So that's gonna happen.
Right.
So when I see parents looking at little league games, do this, do that, do this, do that, like, huh? Yeah. And they hollering and stuff and everything. Yeah, I know they ain't. You know, tell the kid pass the ball, da da da. You know that. And what my lens was, damn, I ain't even work with my son on it. I ain't even go over there with him. I ain't even do that and stuff. And that what would get with me, like, damn, you know, sometimes somebody was like, well, man, he didn't know.
Right, he didn't expect him to know.
And I knew that when I coached, when my coaches would, when I was head coach, and my coach would yell at a kid about something, I like, coach, we ain't taught him that. You know, coach, we can't really fuss at him like that, we ain't really taught him. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they'll sit there looking like, you know, you're right, coach. Like, you want a kid to process something they ain't never seen before. You go to your job, and your supervisor got expectations for you. Bro, when you never taught me that, you know, and you looking at a child who doesn't have the maturity or the mental capacity to be able to do certain things like that. Yeah, exactly. And so that was one thing he was always kind of get with me, like, did I go over it? Now, if I know I done taught you, and you doing something, man, what the hell you doing and stuff? But definitely, I would say the parents, you know, be able to reflect on your expectations. You know your child. Is it something that they capable of? Did you go over it with them and stuff? Better be able to, you know, just be able to reflect on that and just say, okay, this realistic, unrealistic and stuff. You want to fuss at your kids by, dang, where your grades this, why you that? Did you get them? Did you sit up and read with them? Right. Did you get them a tutor? Right. Did you do everything that you, in your capacity? You know, and you know, some of the shit hereditary. Yeah. Mom and daddy dumb. Shit.
Jeff and Chanel Taylor says,
what's up, T?
Sometimes you have to let them see life.
Yeah.
Slick also said earlier, and I meant to read it, but I got thrown off with the phone. It said kids won't hear their parents. Kids won't hear what their parents are saying, but their friends can say the exact same thing, and they'll hear that.
Friends, and another tidbit, kids might not listen to you, but they damn sure watch you.
You're right.
You know, you saying everything good or bad. You know, they still watching. True. You know, we're doing certain things because, you know, and I think we all have to be kind of somewhat conscious of that, right? So, but I do want any parent to kind of be thinking about when you actually setting these kind of expectations with your kids, like, have you set everything up for them to be successful? Right. And what you want them to be. You just can't be on a, you know, just figure it out. You know, some kids, be honest with you, dog, like,
they'll figure it out.
You be like, shit, I ain't do that. They be like, he's so smart. Ain't got shit to do with that. I know damn well. I don't know where the hell he get it from.
We taking credit for that.
Yeah.
We take credit for that.
But real talk though, you be like, sometimes you be like, they sharp. And then someone be like, look, man, I know you know better. But that's the thing where we got to sit here and just be able to reflect. Did I do everything possible? When we talking about how to be able to deal with disappointment for adult children, we got to sometimes own what we didn't do. Right? Right. Just, you know, like, look, did we do everything we could have did to teach them or implement, work ethic.
Okay.
Thinking, decision making, all that kind of stuff, instead of just assuming that they would do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that just gotta have that kind of little come to Jesus moment with yourself, and really just just figure, answer that question, right? Again, we're talking about how to deal with adult disappointment with adult children, how to deal with disappointment in adult children. Right now, I'm streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Again, it's Change the Lives, hosted by your truly, Deonte Burton. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. We go. The third thing is practice empathy and understanding. Practice empathy and understanding. You got to put yourself in their shoes. Try to understand their perspective and the choices they've made. Empathy can help you see the situation from their point of view. So you say, okay, well, look, let me think. He is 5. Or he had a rough day at school. That's one thing about a lot of times with children. My oldest boy, as a young daddy, how the hell you didn't? How the hell you failed? How the hell you failed the test? Or what you not doing this, that in school? I used to be real. What I think it just, I wasn't old enough. I'm in my damn mid-20s. So you sitting there like, I wasn't mature enough to understand like, stuff happens.
Right.
Whereas I know like when Will come in, Will 13, and then we was up last night, or we had to take care of something or whatever. So from a common sense standpoint, I understand, because the same situation reversed on me. Like I can't have if I've been doing something all the day before, or we just have been out with the family and I knew I had an assignment to turn in, if I didn't take the time to do that, like I said, man, I was busy yesterday.
Right.
I gotta have the same realistic thing of my son.
Yeah.
And just be able to sit here and just be able to put yourself in their shoes.
Okay.
Understand. And from that point, and being straight up, look, bro, I'm looking at it. Talk to you. Talk to me. What's going on? Son, you bullshitting. Talk to your daughter. Say, hey, look, now. Because one thing about when my kids will say something about grades, well, the first question out my mouth, well, you hear like that. The test is hard, and we couldn't do this, that, and that. I said, son, the people pass the test. What do you mean? I said, the people pass the test.
Right.
If people pass the test, if all y'all failed it, I get it.
It's different.
But if people pass the test, that means it was passable.
Right. It wasn't unpassable.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So again, so the people that pass the test, they smart. They smarter than you. This, that, and that. Now you sitting there, well, nah. But they just, how did they do it, and what didn't you do?
Right.
I mean, was it something? Just what is it? And that's what we have to sit down and make sure that our kids learn accountability.
Ms. Mixlot says that being realistic and compassionate means a lot in parenting.
Absolutely. Because again, I think that we think that a lot of times people move from the standpoint that they want the kids to do a certain thing, but they don't want to put the time in to make it happen. And again, sometimes our kids can grow up and we don't put that much into them. You're like, man, wow, I don't know where you got it from.
Right.
Well, then a lot of times they just don't. You sit there now, they out there, and I was listening to a TikTok earlier. Pro athletes were talking about how they got their money, but they just didn't damn know. They were saying, man, nobody talked to me. I got this money, whatever, this, that, and that. And I don't think that's outrageous to expect you get a 21-year-old, $5-10 million, and think they're going to make smart decisions with it.
Right.
That's asinine. Because I get that to a 40, 50, because I hear adults, guys 40, 50 years old, 60 years old in a cigar shop, man, how do you guys had all that money go broke? Same way you ain't got it. I mean, I'm just saying, if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
And I just think that
Should people win lottery and go broke?
absolutely, because at the end of the day, you really don't know how to do with money until you done had it and messed it up. You can go back and get it back,
Right.
Not in all cases, but many cases, you got to kind of get out there and get it and go through that learning curve. But that's why I want people to just think about, just when we start talking about practice empathy and understanding, just put yourself in their shoes and have an open communication. Encourage open and honest communication. Have a respectful conversation with your adult child about their choices and decisions, and listen without judgment. Listen without judgment. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. When your child becomes an adult, they are an adult.
That's it.
And it's one thing you checking them or whatever. Hey man, they done got a DUI or something like that. Yeah, you go through that, but really and truly, you got to sit here and have a conversation. Like, look, let me talk to you instead of me yelling at you.
Right.
And everything, because again, you can castricize them, emasculate them, and everything like that, and they just like they focusing on the rah, 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 rah. It's just like you Charlie Brown teacher. And exactly,
right.
And you have a great message. And, you know, as a football coach, that was one thing that I was very, very conscious of, because I probably from that last era of the hidden coaches.
Okay.
Hit you or whatever, this, that, and that, and they fussing and cussing. You still didn't know what the hell to do.
Right.
We probably more mentally tough, but again, your message get lost in the delivery.
In the delivery, yes.
And we have to make sure that you have to understand, because you may have you may have said something in your delivery that was just misconstrued, and you can't assume that. Or sometimes, you know, we have to understand everybody don't think the same. We may have an idea of the correct destination,
right?
But as far as processing, you know, how we're going to go about it to get there, be totally different. So you got to sit there and listen. And sometimes, you know, my kids be like, "Hey, Daddy, just listen." My bad, dog. You know, and just and let them say everything in their entirety. You know, I got grown kids,
right?
So I got to sit here like, bro, talk to me, say what they got to say and everything. Because what you don't want to have happen is your child do not want to talk with you because of lack of respect. You know what I'm saying?
No way.
Now you can understand the apprehension they may have because they disappointed that they let you down, but just don't want to talk to you because your ass just gonna cuss or whatever. Man, that's just something you don't even want to have happen.
Right.
You know, and they be like, why you didn't come to me? Why this? Why?
Right.
Why would I? Who the hell want to come to you? Right. Exactly. Not because you made a mistake. It's just like I just didn't want to go through that process. Now I will say this as a parent: don't compromise. Don't compromise being honest because you're worried about their feelings. And I was talking to them kids at Tri-Cities yesterday. A couple of young boys, you know, when they heard a couple things, they got, you know, doing this, and, you know, they get, you know, everybody got all these damn bushes that twist their hair. What the fuck? Well, anyway, but they were doing that, and I had to say, guys, listen, we all family. Y'all men, and it's not a slight on ladies, but y'all men, y'all a little tough skin. You gonna hear some shit you don't want to hear.
Right.
I got OGs. You got OGs. And my OGs have said some stuff that, not to demean me, call me a SOB or MF or whatever, but say some stuff that kind of like, hey, Poochie, you messed up. And I got to be able to sit here and just be like, I didn't like it, but at least that's my OG.
You got to take it in.
Exactly. And a lot of times people, you know, that's a real big part of maturity. You know, and I'm probably a little more tougher because I did play sports and I was in the military as far as taking certain things. Because and anybody know me, I'm a big proponent. I don't believe in cursing you. I might curse when I talk, but I don't at all disrespect people.
Right.
I don't never, my kids included. We don't do that.
Okay.
That was one of my rules. I put my kids were younger. We don't front on each other. We don't do that. But I'm finna give it to you straight up and raw. You finna get it that way.
Right.
And we don't need to be, well, you could have said it this way. No, MF, I said it the way I said it.
You're right.
You know my rule, Lab. Don't ever leave a conversation where a person don't know where you stand.
Right.
And don't you leave that conversation when you don't know what they saying. Because me and Lab ain't finna talk. Well, I think he meant, no. Find out what he said.
Right.
And then when people say something to me about, well, you made it seem like, no, I said what I said. Damn all what you want to.
How you took it.
Yeah, how you know.
Yeah.
I said what I said. No confusion. And you got to be able to sit here and just have that, you know, open communication, man. Just be able to rap with your kids. So many parents lose their kids because they can't communicate. You cannot talk to your adult child like they 4 years old. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
You know, I'm telling you who did that really well. You know, Slick talked to her son like hard, but he's a good, you know what I'm saying? He's a good child. Like, she gave it to him, like you said, rough, rugged, and raw. Just straight out. It is what it is. But he would talk to her about anything. It was no question about who he was coming to first. You get what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying because I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in my kids coming to me with uncomfortable conversations. And has it bothered me? Not because they did it, but sometimes your kid. My mom went through stuff a couple weeks ago. Your mind be focused on what you got to do.
Right.
And here this shit come along with your kid.
Right.
They throw your whole thing off on what you got to do. But at the end of the day, I don't want my kid out there dealing with stuff. That daddy, big dog can come help you out with that and stuff. But you can be reluctant to say something to you because of how you gonna handle them.
Right.
I'm not gonna chump you off like, look, daddy, hey, shit, I am on here on my own. You know what I'm saying? I don't really bug, and I can say that my kids, they don't really bug me about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really tripping. So I have to be, conscious of that. Not that we have issues, but I know if I could be a different way, they wouldn't want to come to me at all. But I do think a lot of times parents have to really, really keep that in mind. And if you do feel like your child that is an adult is not moving like an adult, you gotta reassess some things.
Right.
I get it. I get it. That hey man, you're not on it, this, that, and that. Why they ain't doing it? And maybe some stuff that's totally out of what you've done, you've raised them with, or whatever. But that's why we're having this conversation. That's why we're having this conversation to be able to do it. Because you can't make your child listen to you. You can't make somebody be ambitious.
Right.
You can't make somebody want to take initiative.
Right.
You know what I mean? At some point, they got to be able to just, I'm gonna go do this myself. You know what I'm saying? If you sitting there still trying to do certain things for them that they, I'm gonna fill out this for you. I'm gonna call this person for you.
Right.
Me and my kids talk about, hey, well listen, I know my partner. You need this little internship or this job. I'm gonna call him, let him know you're gonna call him, but you're gonna talk.
Right. Right.
These are the, you want to get a job, you go fill out that application. If you got questions or you want me to review it, I
can do that part, yeah.
But I'm not doing shit for you. You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna fill out that application for me?
Hell, no.
Oh, Pop.
Let me tell you something. I feel, man, any one of my kids will tell you, since they at least 15, I ain't fill out no damn paperwork. Let me look over it. Let me look over it. I look it over.
Right.
Matter of fact, when they that young, I need to look over it. But they get older now, I don't do that. I ain't asking, I ain't speaking nobody for you. If I make a connection, hey man, my man looking for you to call and listen. Before I reach out to that person,
right,
is your shit together before then.
right.
Because don't have me vouch for you.
Embarrass myself.
Exactly.
Right.
But straight up, I'm not, have you ever known people to call somebody about their kid, knowing the kid gonna do wrong? Hell no. No, man, I had a part of mine reach out, my older son, he was kind of going through his growing pains. Buddy of mine say, hey man, I got a spot. Hey bro, nah, you ain't ready right now.
Yeah.
He ain't ready right now.
And ain't for him.
And you see I ain't even joking about this. Nah, he ain't ready right now. And we don't need to mess up no relationships because, they do something and then they can't finish it through or whatever. Now I'm telling you now. But when they ready, hey, I seen you there, I'll send them there or whatever, I'll talk to you and everything. But I ain't gonna do that. But definitely, guys, parents, make sure you try your best to have open communication with your children. Again, we're talking about how to deal with disappointment with adult children. And the next one is very important. Very important because, again, it goes back to the vision we have for our children and then their reality. And that's respecting their autonomy. Respecting their autonomy. Recognize that your children have independence. Adult children have their own lives, their own goals, and decisions that they want to make. Respect their autonomy and support their right to live their lives as they see fit, even if it differs from your expectations. Now here's the deal. I understand that if your child telling you they grown, but you still taking care of them.
Right.
I get it. I get it.
That's the difference.
But you got to be very honest with your child. You want me to give you the respect as an adult, but you want to move like a child. At some point, as the parent, you got to just say, look, you want me to give you that? Shit, do that.
You got to be it.
Do it. Yeah. You can't have grown man expectations for yourself as a young man or a young lady, and you want to move like a child.
Yeah.
Pay, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind you utilizing me, but you can't use me.
That's the
I'll assist you, but I ain't subsidizing you.
yeah. That's
How the hell I gotta, I can't, you don't want me checking stuff, you don't want me doing that, all this kind of stuff. People will say, well, look, they need their privacy and all that. Privacy, you something you pay extra for at the hotel.
privacy come with prices.
Yeah. but so for even when we say that, we can't be sitting here catching our kids and doing certain things like that and allowing them to throw that back at us. Like, shit, I'm grown. Be grown.
Right.
Okay, cool. You right. You right. Don't have me pay for shit. Don't have me pay for a damn thing. We'll do that. And parents, be okay. Be okay with your decision. Well, if I don't do that, then how they gonna do that? Shit, let them figure out. They say they grown.
I think that's the hardest part.
Shit, let me tell you something.
Letting our children figure out, knowing they going the wrong way.
Knowing the path that they're about to walk down is a bumpy one.
My oldest son moved out of my house. Everybody asked me, you know where you going? You ain't worried? I was worried, but I knew that I've been more damn stressed out with another grown man in my house acting like he tell me what to damn do.
Right.
No.
Slick say you can't be grown and I'm paying all the bills.
Do you know how many people say, living on their parents' roof and like, I'm grown, I can do this and come in and
like they paying bills.
Yeah. I ain't thinking about it. And then the parents are just stressed the hell out. He don't even help out with that. He just come in, he just do this. Bullshit. No.
Not to say not Poochie.
Shit, no. Man. And I ain't trying to flex it now.
But the truth is the truth, right?
Yeah, but what they said, I'd be lying if I sat there and said that I don't be worried or whatever and everything. But at the end of the day, I had one of my platoon sergeants say something to me that always stuck with me. He said, Sergeant Debo, I'm a Facebook friend, I don't know if he looking at the show or not, but Debo said something, this was back when I was in Germany. And he said, man, we was at one of them schnitzel houses or whatever, drinking some schnapps. Mm-hmm. He said, man, have you ever thought about how frightened your parents were when you left? Mm-hmm. And I never thought about that. You be so engaged in yourself, you never think about how frightened your parents are to just let you out into the world. Mm-hmm. And so the same thing, you get children, you the same way. But at the end of the day, they gotta let you go. A bird gonna be, they hatch the eggs. The little birds at some point, they just jump out. They don't live with their mamas no more. They just go out and live on their own. Mm-hmm. When in any animal,
push them out the nest.
Well, you see that in any animal in the animal kingdom, they'll nurture them at some point. But at some point, they got to get out there on their own.
They walk away.
Yeah, and humans, you got to see it the same thing. We scared. We love our children, but at some point, you got to sit there and say, well, look, let you do your thing. Mm-hmm. Now you come back, I keep, get some game or whatever. If you need me, I'm here. But a lot of times, you'll see parents still keeping their kids at a certain point to protect their kids, because of the parents' fear of the kids going through something.
Right.
Well, where they gonna stay or how they gonna eat or whatever. They're like, shit. I remember when we was in Germany. I was in Germany. Every now and then I could call back home, and everything, and say, grandmama, mama, y'all send me some money, whatever.
Right.
Whatever, wire, wire the money. I think it was MoneyGram and all that stuff back then. But they told me one time, me and my partners went to the club. I got tricked off all my money, and I called home. I couldn't wash my clothes. I had no money for that lab. My mama said, Poochie, I ain't got it. And I heard my mama saying to my grandma, Mama, Poochie ain't got no money. My grandma was like, I ain't got shit either. And I was like, they really ain't got no money.
Right.
And I ain't got no money.
What I'm gonna do?
What I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at that point, lad, that shit hit me like, they ain't got no money.
You're right.
I can't do this shit no more. My partner ain't got no money.
Get it together.
I can't go to mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, it scared the shit out of me. Like, I ain't got no safety net.
Right.
It was me. And from that damn point in my life, I ain't never just, you know what I'm saying? They hit me like you know what I'm saying? They didn't have nothing to give me.
Right.
And I'm talking, I'm hungry. Hungry,
But
like.
you in the military, you in Germany seeing the world.
Shit, boy.
You should have them kind of issues.
Shit, I'm blowing through that money, boy. Friday night at the 7 Hill NCO Club. Party over here. Shit. Boy, it wasn't never big booties and drinks. And that money gone real quick, brother. Shit. You know what I'm saying? And my mama said that, but that was one of the best things that happened in my life. Because at that point, I was accountable for Poochie. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I really needed to go through that. And far too often, so many parents don't want their kids to be out there hungry or be out there cold. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And we'll go through all kind of stuff not because they couldn't get their kids something, because their kids bad decision making.
Right.
I was like everything you just said. I was in the military. I was in Germany. I'm out there seeing the world. Why the hell I'm calling my mama, ask my mama for money?
Right.
But my dumb ass out here want to sit out here and party and chase women and everything.
Not thinking about tomorrow.
I ain't thinking about it.
Right.
But then, you know, I had to go through that. From that point forward, I never have done that, dog. I had to go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there are so many adults out here that have never went through that. Not just adults with children. Adults that are parents that are still going back to their parents. Mama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk. Got their parents taking care of their kids. Because a lot of times the parent, they want the kid to go through something.
To suffer something.
You know what I'm saying? There you go.
Setback.
Yeah, suffering is a good teacher.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, that stomach growl long enough, shit. You sitting over there, man, trying to figure out, man, but you can put a little sugar on some paper.
You got some bread and some sugar. Sound like a sandwich to me. Slick say parents letting their kids do too much nowadays, and if they can smoke, eat, drink, have sex at the parents' house, why should they move out?
Hey, man, for real.
Right.
For real. But like I said, again, a lot of times just parents just don't want to lose that control. Again, tonight show we're talking about how to deal with disappointment from adult children.
Jeff and Chanel Taylor says, I surely have been there, and I learned quick.
Hey man, T was in Germany partying with me.
Oh, okay.
That's my dog.
That explains it.
Hey,
T has on that Germany too.
Hey, my very first night in Germany. Very first night. That's my big brother. Bro, come on, I got you. Hey, my very first night in country.
Okay.
Bro, I got you. That was my big brother. Hey, lad was fresh, green.
Straight off the boat.
Hey, that's my dog. Took care of me, boy. Hey, T, my very first night. Hey, y'all ready to go out? Y'all ready? Hey, boy, it was on and popping. That my very first night.
T was a bad influence.
Hey, no. Let me tell you something. That brother, let me tell you something, man. Taylor taught me one thing that has stuck with me the rest of my life. Me and that brother used to go party. But when I say work like a mule, work. So he taught me one important thing. We party all night long because I worked under him. And that next morning,
Gotta do
it wasn't no
excuse.
Man, I'm tired.
No excuse.
So I'm talking about he taught me at an early age, work hard, play hard. And that brother worked. And that always stuck with me because I had a couple other partners in other platoons. They didn't have a cat like him.
Okay.
So we would party. He took us out. But that morning,
back to business.
It wasn't no plaything, huh? And I'm talking about soon work up, we go party again. But it was just, and like I said, man, it was T was very, very instrumental. You know what I'm saying? Just my I just remember that, like we would get to it, like party hard. And I'm talking about go in, get back 3 in the morning, formation at 5. And I'm talking about and work, dog. And but he was very like, hey, this how we do it. It wasn't no, hey man, that kind of, taking naps, take a break. Shit. But he taught me that very early on, man. I'm always gonna appreciate that brother for that because that's something that had always stuck with me. Hey, listen, man, you have your fun, man, but handle your business. Don't let your business handle you. And I've always taught that. I've taught that to all my children. Party, have your fun, but take care of your business first, man. But yeah. I thought I would tell you, man. That my first night, and I'm talking about, hey, work hard, play hard.
Right.
That always stuck with me.
I'm sorry if I said the name wrong. Lativia Morgan says, "What control these wannabe friend parents are cool with that laying up, smoking, drinking, cussing them out in their own home."
Well, see, the thing of it is, I think with parents, a lot of times as parents, when we look at our parents, we look at all the things that we're okay with, and it didn't hurt us. And then we look at the things that we weren't okay with our parents did that kind of rubbed us wrong way. So we'll say, excuse me, I'm not going to do that. I ain't going to fuss. I ain't going to put them on punishment. I ain't going to whoop them. Excuse me. And that shit might not work for your child. But because you didn't like it, your child may need it.
Right.
Just being straight up.
Right.
And so you say, okay, well, look, I'm going to be more of a friend to my kid. My mom and daddy wouldn't do it. You know, a lot of times stuff is generational or whatever. You know, I'm most raised by my grandfather, which my granddaddy loved me, but he from that old school. It wasn't no I love you.
Ain't no hugging and all that. Yeah, mine the same way.
And I'm probably a little bit more affectionate with my children, but there's some things that I don't compromise with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I ain't never been the one to drink or smoke. Right. I ain't never been the one to do that and stuff like that.
Who want to party with their children anyway?
Well, let me say that, Lamb. I'm totally against it, but I never try to tell people how to raise their kids. But what I will say is, you got to be realistic about what you don't like. Still might be the best thing, and that's what I was trying to get when I was talking to those kids yesterday. That we talking, y'all. You might hear some shit you don't like. I talk to my OGs now. Damn, I ain't really want, you know, I might have wanted a little bit of pity party. And, no. And sometimes you got to just be, you know, have enough thick skin to understand that somebody care about what they're saying. They still got your best interest in mind. And they ain't gonna better call you, especially when we start talking about young men. Like, you know, you being too rough and all that kind of stuff. You being too rough, but the world gonna be ferocious.
Because they don't care nothing about it.
You know what I mean? And there are so many times people make excuses. How many times, you know, and again, this gonna rub some people the wrong way. We got kids that unfortunately may have lost their lives dealing with police or dealing with other people doing some wrong shit. They were robbing somebody, they were stealing something and everything. Police shot them, another person shot them, and people like, they didn't have to do my baby like that. But the baby doing some wrong stuff.
Right.
And because they probably wouldn't handle it right in the legal manner, people don't want to own that. But because, you know, the kids still doing something wrong, they still shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, I've seen plenty of documentary folks like, yeah, they was a good kid, they was doing it. I mean, you just trying to get a damn settlement.
Right.
Because you know your kid was effed up.
Right.
The greater piece of society, nobody say the shit you saying about your child. Right?
And I know, let me give you a good example. I know, and it was a different time, of course, because I'm older, but I know I was a terror as a child. I know I was. Even as a child, I knew I was a terror, but I was a terror to a line. Yeah. Like, I knew if I step over this line, I might go to jail, get dead. You know what I'm saying? But I was a terror up to that line. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandma told you, he was bad as hell, ain't nothing I can say, but she right. Because I was, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I know I was. Right, I knew how far to go. So, and the child know that they bad as hell. You get what I'm saying? Like, children know that they being bad. They know they not doing the right things when they out in these streets and doing other. They know this. But, like you said, the parenting is just not as stable as it needs to be.
Ain't it amazing how somebody can go to jail and learn how to follow rules? Ain't it amazing? And at the end of the day, the world is based off of order. Right? Follow the rules, do this, that, and all that kind of stuff. We ain't trying to go into those conspiracy theories. But at the end of the day, like, you work hard, take care of your family, whatever. You can't take my shit because your ass don't want to do it.
Right.
If you got something that I don't have, and unfortunately at this time, you know, I got laid off, I just still can't take your shit.
Right.
I can't take your stuff.
Right.
I can't break in your house. You know what I'm saying? Right. You work hard for you. I don't have it right now. I need it, but I can't take it. and it's not justification for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I worked hard and
you
got
know,
it.
you know, this is a free country. You feel a certain way, you say what you want to say. I can't slap the shit out you because you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's certain lines you can't cross.
Yeah,
and you should know not to cross.
We about to say.
Lativia, and I'll say
What's up, Tay?
Latavia Morgan says, I have some folks who party with their children to the point that the mother and daughter are pregnant at the same time.
Damn.
That's what she said.
She comes some damn Lifetime shit. And we're talking about I deal with disappointment of adult children. Hell, I think that's a damn disappointment of damn adult parents.
I'm gonna say this much. When there's been times like me and Sid go to a club and her son will walk in the club and she be like, let's go. And I'm like, why? Well, I mean, we like literally just walked in there, and she like, Carlos just came here. We can't be in here with him. We can't party with him. Like, and I'm like, oh, okay. But you know what I'm saying? Like, to that point, like, I'm not gonna be in this club and my son in this club too. You get what I'm saying?
You know, Larry, it's funny you say that because my younger sister, I've pretty much been like her father. You know, and she look at me like that. Everybody know that with me, you know, me and Lil Bit, but Lil Bit walking the club, I got to go. I gotta go. Hey man, my sister in here. I gotta go.
Right.
I got to go. Hell no.
Right.
I see her and her crew. Where you going, Blue? Where you going, bro?
I'm out.
I gotta go. I got to damn go.
Right.
So I definitely know. You know what I'm saying? Six said, come back to the mic. I'm sorry, but that was one of the things. Like, hey, when I seen that kind of stuff, I had to leave, man. I had to sit there just because I didn't want to be in there. I didn't want certain lines to get crossed. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's my sister. I know how she look at me and everything. I didn't want some things to get compromised. You know, with certain things. And so you got to sit here and just kind of be realistic about it. Because that's why we talked about earlier. Parents got to be realistic. You know, you got to own what you ain't did. You know, and
you got to own what you show.
Yeah, and be willing to go through the pain and the sacrifices to probably correct that bad behavior actions. A lot of times people want to do that. He is doing this, he doing that. We do everything. Shit, that ain't work.
He doing exactly what you taught him to do.
Taught him to do,
not taught him to do.
Or didn't correct.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you know, again, you do have that out there, but I don't think most parents want to raise their kids to be a criminal.
Let me ask you a question while we're talking about that. Do you, speaking of that, most parents don't want, at what point do the kids take up responsibility for their own actions?
The kids all got
when the parents, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, when the parents are telling them to do certain things and they still ignoring it, and then they get in trouble, and then they want to call mom and daddy, at what point do the kids, let's just say, breaking the car, something happens. When they get ready to open that car door, knowing that it's wrong, knowing that it's illegal, knowing that something could happen to them, and they decide to do it, and something does happen to them, at what point does it become their responsibility to do the right thing, and the parents did all they could? I mean, at what point does that happen?
It's always, the kids always got to be able to be accountable for what they do. The problem come up is the parents don't necessarily want their kids to go through the consequences of their bad decision making.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, even if the parents don't want them to go through the consequences, they taking care, they doing whatever they can to make sure they don't go through the consequences, and the child decides to go through the consequences on their own.
But that's what I'm saying, Lab. They still gotta own it. But what happens is a lot of times they don't necessarily have to go through the consequences, because you know, again, let me get you out of jail. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do that. So you really just begin
slap on hand
until the parent can't not help you anymore. So the kid gotta, from the get-go. Again, it goes back to, as a parent, how afraid can you let yourself be to let your kid go through something?
And we talking about adult children at this point.
Yeah, we talking about grown ass folks.
They definitely should know right from wrong.
You know, stealing, making babies, writing checks, doing whatever. Anything that they know they ain't supposed to do, not working.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, that at some point, the parent got to be sit there and say, well, look, my fear of me taking your care of your ass forever is greater than my fear of your ass, having to go through jail or all this other kind of stuff. And unfortunately, a lot of times people don't really go through. You can't do it till they kick in a situation they can't help.
Right.
That's really how it goes.
Right.
Most of the time, Larry.
Right.
The kid gotta know it from the get go. It's just how much a parent is willing, because of their fear, to let the child go through that. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want I get scared just like any other parent. My kid got to go through something. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not trying to say it, but at the end of the day, shit, I can't be taking care of this stuff forever. You know what I mean?
I say, how much better is it for you as a parent to take care of the things for your children so they don't have to go? I'm going to give you a good example. Me and you, I was raised by my grandmother pretty much. My mom wasn't a Christian, but my grandmother didn't have no money. I knew for a fact that if I went to jail, I was sitting in jail. You get what I'm saying? Like, there was no question mark, because my grandmother's not trying to get mad. She's trying to figure out what we're going to eat today. You get what I'm saying? So that added stress, she would probably let it go. And I feel like that, to me, helped me a lot, because I knew I was going to be in jail. And let me get it together early.
My granddaddy, W.C. Burton, dead and gone, but he looked straight in my eyes. You start something, don't get your ass locked up, I ain't getting your ass out of jail. And I knew he meant it.
Because he said
and he meant it, and I knew that nobody had no money. I ain't putting my house over your ass. And I knew he meant that. So that's why I'm going up and down Bankhead, cutting grass, doing fast food there. I never sold dope.
Right.
I ain't knocking nobody. Whatever decision you make, deal with the consequences. Now it is, you grow up in the neighborhood, you respect the game. Whatever you do,
that's you.
That's you, whatever.
Right.
I did things, what I'm saying, I might, just maybe chase women or do this, that, and that shit I wasn't supposed to dang do, in excess or whatever.
Right.
Whatever, I can deal with consequences come out of it. If you sit there and you want to do rob, sell dope, whatever, be able to deal with the consequences. But I know that man was very, very serious when he said that. So I just never, you know what I'm saying? But my thing, I just like working and making money. That's just never my thing, again, with doing that. Six Redbone says, I don't think never, but I think we as parents blame ourselves for the kids' actions or choices. I think a lot of times, parents carry a certain guilt, and sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it ain't. And everything. I think at the end of the day, once our children become adults, again, we're talking again, how to handle disappointment with adult children. Once, at some point, if our kids are adults, they got to do stuff on their own. Now, you might have some group stuff that y'all can try to work on together, but when they grown, they grown.
And the majority of that stuff, they got to work on themselves.
Exactly. Like, when we would sit here and talk to some of the kids, and they'll say, well, look, I didn't have one of the biggest things, especially with a lot of young men, is they throw the universal one. I didn't have a father figure. And the thing of it is when I hear the thing about somebody says they didn't have a father figure, you really don't know what you would have got. You got a 50-50 chance. I love my dad to death. Everybody know my daddy. Great guy, this, that, and that. Daddy street dude. So you sitting there like, shit. And I think now he's older, out of guilt. Man, I wish I'd have been there. But shit worked out.
Right.
Because if I'd had your ass around,
no telling.
Well, man, no damn telling. But at the end of the day, like, I'm cool. And a lot of times, people don't want to sit there and just, own that they made bad decisions. It's a lot of kids out here that got a daddy or a mama that actually have been very detrimental to their growth. Right. There's a lot of kids out there got both parents or got everything down, and they still made bad decisions, right? They've been very active and very supportive. At the end of the day, your decision's your decision. I say this all the time, Lab, that, and I was talking to one of my partners, man. Shout out my boy Josh coming with my teammates, and we had Josh's son birthday, little Josh's birthday was a couple weeks, and I had to just tell Josh, because he was teenage father, like, man, I really admire, how you move. I had never told him, but he was like, I had a, Jack was telling me, like, you had a solid mama, grandma, but I always say, bro, at the end of the day, you had to listen to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even no matter what infrastructure you have.
Right.
And that's great. Because a lot of times people say, well, I didn't have this, that, but they have something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You still got to listen to them. Right?
It's somebody there.
It's somebody there. Somebody there. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't, and I get it. But a lot of times somebody's there. You got to make a decision to listen to them.
Yeah, I'm not a big proponent of that. I'm a product of my environment type stuff, because
it's a cop out.
It is, because for me, growing up in I didn't have a mama or a daddy. Pretty much, I never knew my dad, so we always have to had that discussion. I don't know who he is today, and my mom was very was not around much at all. So, and I lived on the west side of ghetto Chicago, so I could easily say, "Oh, I didn't have a mama and daddy. It took me down this road." But those things in itself, as a person, the individual has to take over and decide what they want out of their lives. They can't just lay on I don't have a mom or dad to show me, because to be honest with you, I didn't have that either, but I knew the path I wanted to take, and it damn sure wasn't the path that they were taking me on.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I knew that I needed to do something better.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I think as a parent, you got to be able to sit here and just say, well, look, I tried my best, I made this mistake here and there and there. Own that for yourself. But you got to say at some point, like, look, man, this, you know what I mean? Because they got to just sit here and make some kind of decision because they know. You know, unless you just have had limited exposure, sometimes I can kind of get at the people. That's all they see, that's all they know with doing that. But at the end of the day, you still probably had some examples to want to do better. You know what I mean?
And you have to want to do better. You have to, even if you don't have, let me tell you something. Examples are great, don't get me wrong. But the drive and understanding that what the situation that you in now as an adult, the situation that you were in as a child growing up, is not the same. If it's a bad situation, it's not the same situation that you want to be in later on in life. I knew this at 10, 11, 12 years old, not having a mom and a dad around. I knew that I did not want to be like I am today, like I was today. I didn't want to be trying to figure out what I'm going to eat today. I didn't want to be trying to figure out what clothes I'm going to wear. So at a certain point, a child, especially an adult child, has to say to themselves from their parents' perspective, okay, my mom did all I did, all she could do. Now I have to take over as an adult and move forward with my life to know that I can't keep doing the same things that I was doing before.
Especially if shit ain't going the right way.
Right.
Especially if that you see, look, I'm still doing this, the ship stay sinking. At some point, I got to make a decision to do better. Again, guys, we're talking about how to deal with disappointment with adult children. That's not a comment there. The next one is focus on unconditional love. Love unconditionally. Reaffirm your love for your child. Make sure they know that your love and support for them are not contingent on their life choices or accomplishment. Let them know you love them. Let them know you care about them. But also let them know, like, shit, this is your making the decision. I'm going to love you. I don't like the shit you doing, but I still love. They're not gonna change anything because they're gonna do things. It can be lifestyle, it can be sexuality, it can be just certain career paths or whatever and stuff. You can say that's still your kid,
right?
And at the end of the day, you can sit and say to yourself, "Well, I don't like it, I don't appreciate it, I don't approve it," but that ain't your life to live.
Right. That's
and
their life.
You'll get so damn caught out because of the way you think, your ego, or your way you look at it, and you'll lose your damn child. You'll lose your damn child. And one time spent, you can't get it back.
That's true.
And you spend so much time condemning your child because they didn't go on a certain pathway, and before you know it, they gone, you gone, time gone. You done missed out on so much shit because you were so stuck on your ideology on certain things. And you got to be kind of mindful, and that's all of us.
Right.
That's all of us. We got to just sit there and just be thinking about that sometimes. Another thing we need to do is make sure you manage expectations. Adjust expectations. Adjust your expectations and understand that their life choices may not match your vision for them. Allow them space to live their lives, make mistakes, and learn from them. Okay? Make sure you do that, guys. You want to make sure that hey, look, I'm gonna let you bump your head a couple times, this, that, and that. You ready? Whatever. But don't be so much of a stickler or a safety net where they can't learn and grow from it. Okay?
We break our own hearts not managing our expectations.
Absolutely.
We break our own hearts that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another one thing, guys, just find support. Talk to somebody. Share your feelings with a close friend, a partner, therapist. Sometimes talking about your emotions and someone you can trust can provide valuable insight and support. When we sit there and look at it, my perspective, the way it is, that's my perspective, and I think that's how things should be going. But a lot of times, if I don't necessarily get another perspective, I can be so stuck in tunnel vision.
Right.
Been many a time I talk to my dog, Pate be like, man, Poop, man, it's different now. The kids got to deal with this, kids got to deal with that. I'm like, man, you right. You know what I'm saying? And I need to hear that.
Right.
Just sometimes bouncing out ideas. And, you might fellowship with other cats and they kicking out things that they their children may have disappointed them on, but you need to kind of, Six Redbone say, you so true, Lap, we'll lose it with how we feel. And you need sometimes to be able to confide and be able to bounce off ideas and feelings to people, because again, you be so stuck on your way. So, definitely find somebody you can consult with, or find support with. You need to also make sure you're focusing on positive aspects. Appreciate their qualities. Focus on the positive aspects of your child's personality and character. Appreciating their qualities can help you see beyond the disappointments. That's one thing I think a lot of times we don't necessarily do. I went, when I was at the school yesterday, a couple of them kids, and I say this a lot, people hear me say it, so I ain't, you gotta be hiding from it. When I go to some of these schools, I damn sure appreciate my kids. Right. The kid said yesterday, he said, I want to be an entrepreneur, sell houses and shit like that. He said, and shit like that. 7, 8 grown men.
Right.
It didn't even process there was adults around this young man for him just to freely cuss like that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I know my kids. Respect for they said, respect for authority, fear of me, whatever the hell, would never do that.
Right.
Even my oldest son, he damn close to 30. It wasn't damn, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I was in my 30s and talking about my grandma, I would not cuss, try my best not to cuss. But if I did cuss, I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because it slip out sometimes. Yeah. But he just threw it out to you like checkers, like dice.
And you'll miss out because you're looking at certain things that they are a certain path where they go and miss out on their brilliance. You may want them to go on a certain career path or these certain things, but you're not looking at the brilliance that they do have on certain. They may be artists. They may be doing certain things. Well, man, you should be doing this, that, and that. And I'm not sitting there saying that you don't maybe have a legitimate gripe or legitimate way you feel. But at some point, you got to sit there and say, well, look, man, I'm tearing his ass down, but they doing all right. So just kind of keep that in mind, people. Allow room for growth. Be open to change. People change and evolve over time. Be open to the possibility that your adult child's choices may change in the future, and they might pursue different paths. How deep you want to go into it, that's a different when you open, you allow room for growth, or you're wishing upon a star.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, I know a lot of parents be like, man, I've heard them be like, man, I didn't know what was going on. And all of a sudden, the child did a 360. Boom, they different. It can happen with doing it. But again, like I said, as a parent, that's why we're having a discussion again, how to deal with a disappointment with adult children. You got to kind of keep yourself in a balance. Because you don't have a damn stroke dealing with some of the behavior that they doing. So you got to give them a chance, like, hey, look, they just ain't mature enough. They bumping their head. They don't make sense or what they doing and stuff. Remember, we older, we know more about being 17, 18, 19, and 20 more than they do, right? Because we've been there, done that. And sometimes we just have to just kind of give them a little rope and say, man, they just matured. They ain't seen enough, they don't know enough. A key thing, guys, we near the end. Practice self-care. You got to take care of yourself. Focus on self-care activities to bring you joy and relaxation. Engage in hobbies, exercise, meditation, things like that. Guys, get away from situations. I mean, you be so damn focused on this, what this boy did and this girl doing and stuff. You worrying about your grandkids and all this other kind of shit. You forget about yourself. Next thing you know, you in damn, emergency room.
Right.
But every damn thing high. Blood, sugar, blood pressure.
Right.
Every damn thing. All your numbers off the charts because you've lost yourself.
You're stressing.
Yeah, you're stressing out and all this other kind of stuff about somebody that's making a decision and they not even worried about the impact that it has on you. Right? So you got to be very mindful of that. And also, lastly, guys, consider professional help. Family counseling. If the disappointment and related conflicts persist, consider family counseling. A professional mediator can facilitate productive conversations and help bridge gaps in the understanding. One thing I do is say I'm a big proponent of counseling, family counseling. But one thing I will say, all parties have to be willing to try.
Right.
If everybody willing to try, that shit ain't gonna work.
Right.
That shit ain't gonna work. So that's just one key thing I think a lot of people have to, understand that we just want to just have counseling and things like that. And guys, remember, it's natural for parents to feel disappointed, and it's also essential to nurture nurture the relationship and find ways to accept your child, your adult child, for who they are. Cultivating understanding, empathy, and open communication can go a long way in maintaining a positive, healthy connection with your grown-up offspring. Love your kids, love them forever, but stay true to who you are.
Right.
In everything, but also be realistic about is who you are best for the situation. And y'all just kind of just be able to move from there, okay?
Yeah.
I hope this conversation helped you guys and stuff like that, because I went through it. A lot of people go through it and stuff like that, and I think we suffer as parents in silence a lot because of some of the things our kids are and aren't doing. So I hope this conversation helped you guys, but make sure, if you haven't, again, we've been streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Go to the Change Your Lives YouTube channel. That's the main hub where we have over 700 videos on the YouTube channel covering information just like this. Again, that's Change Your Lives, hosted by Deonte Burton. If you Google Deonte Burton on Google, probably the YouTube channel will pop up first. You'll see the little blue man icon logo on the for the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and take advantage of more great conversation information just like what we discussed tonight. Listen, again, I will be putting up information next week. A couple weeks coming up in regards to the tax course. Anybody interested in becoming a tax preparer and things like that, so that's coming down the pipe. But I do want to tell you guys again, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me, helping us grow the channel and everything. But definitely subscribe and share the information. Tell all your family, friends, subscribe to the channel as well. Take care of yourself, stay warm, be safe, love you, and I'll talk with you soon.